Hi. Miss Steph here. Um, Hi. Yes, I know I said that already, but I don't care. It's my update, so I can do it. Yeah, so we are on for another of these updates that I do on a monthly basis, another one of my teaching updates and month in nonprofit updates and month as just being me kind of update. So thank you for tuning into my channel once again. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Hello. Um, I do make these so that someone sees them. And I do make them, with that intent that they're watched and shared and liked and all that type of stuff, and that someone would subscribe to my channel and really be moved or changed in some way, something that you see me do in the science videos might help you, or if you're like from way back watching me sing random songs, maybe that touches your spirit. But like I said, today is one of the Ms. Steph updates. So let's hop right into the update part of it. Like, where are they now? Where am I now? What's happening? What has been occurring over the last 28 days or so? Let's look at my notes. So I am going to go over what I normally go over, like the teaching platforms that I'm on and actively using, how the partnerships are going for Triple F Empowerment Inc., what fundraisers we're doing, what events we're doing, all that type of stuff I'll go over. I'm also going to really break down Saturday Science and Summer Science and what that is looking like for 2021, because we're making adjustments, because life is changing and shifting, and yeah, it's like happening. Okay. um so stay with me. I'm going to just do a little adjustment. There we go. Okay, thank you. Ha. Filming on my phone, is, I'm sure you've noticed, that's another update that I'll make sure that I'll hit on that too, because we got to talk about that too. Equipment, how that's doing, equipment, supplies. Girl, bruh, person. There's always something. Also, briefly, and this is the thing I'm going to start with, talk to you about COVID vaccination, whether I got one, why, how was it, yada yada. Okay, so like I said, I'm starting with my COVID vaccination first. And once again, Ms. Steph here. Thank you for joining me. Remember to subscribe to my channel so you can be up to date with what's going on with me as a person. There's some of these videos on this channel where that are unlisted, and you can only get to them if you go into my Buy Me a Coffee page and look at that kind of content. And that's the content that's really just sharing personal experiences and blog and vlog and what's that, podcast, and all that type of stuff. Okay. But also subscribe to this page so that you can get science videos, things that you can do with your young developing scientist at home. I have a lot of activities. I just filmed and uploaded to Facebook episode 65 of Science with Ms. Steph. And so there's all kinds of things that are available to you on this channel, and then of course these updates, so that you have an idea of what's going on as far as Triple F Empowerment Inc., how running that organization is going. Last month's update really focused on just like a reflection, and it was kind of weird because I was in this like darker lighting and all this type of stuff. Well, not weird, but just there was a whole different presentation to it. And today, as you can see, we're kind of hitting the middle, right? I'm like a little bit sunnier, and you've got more lighting, and hopefully I'm giving you a bit more of my peppy mood and a little bit of silly child. You're gonna get definitely gonna get that today, because it's more about looking forward. what's going on looking forward. And as I said, I'm going to tell you about my COVID vaccination, which is part of moving forward, part of shifting from such a high percentage of programming being delivered remotely to preparing for being in person with littles and their family members and so forth. And to do that, I felt that it was best for my body and the things that I have going on, chronic and whatnot. Whew, like I said, listen to the podcast for the full skinny on that, the full tea, as it were. You got to listen to the podcast for that. I'm not gonna do that here. But for my well-being and to minimize the likelihood that I would be out with COVID, the way I could do that was to get vaccinated. It's that simple. You know, when you're running a business and you are interacting with so many different people, I don't know if y'all are aware or clear on how many people it was on a weekly basis. It was, I don't want to overestimate, but it was a good 300 other humans in like close contact. Not like, oh, kind of, sort of, no. I'm not even including how many people I contacted, how many people I interacted with or came in close contact with just by being on New York City public transportation on a weekly basis. But yeah, it's a lot of people, and that's way too high of a variable. I am a person who also takes the flu shot because wasn't fun that time I got it. No, thank you. So I do take the flu shot because, again, I get sick, I'm out. I'm not available. I cannot work and do stuff with your children. Yeah. So I did have a reaction. First dose reaction simply was like swelling and whatnot, and I got a large welt that took a good 2.5 weeks. Again, when I get a welt or a bruise, it takes a minute. That's just how my body reacts to things. And yeah, and second dose, I actually had that on Tuesday. Um, I'm not sure if I hinted whether or not I was going to talk about this in my March update, but hey, I am. Second dose, had that on Tuesday, and as you can see, I'm pretty much back to pre-vaccination stuff. Like what? Like this is what you're getting. And my energy levels are fine. I did have some reaction. I try not to call it side effects just for various reasons, but I did have a reaction. My immune system definitely responded and was clearly working on producing antibodies. Elevated temperature for me, elevated temperature. I definitely had aches. I also kind of felt briefly like I had an ear infection for those of you who've ever had one. Isn't that fun? But my ear, I had some pain in my ear very briefly, and I had it was a little headachy and all that type of stuff. But Tylenol and frankly just praying and chilling, and the fact that I didn't have to physically like go to work somewhere like in person uh, really helped. And by Wednesday, like I said, injection on Tuesday, as in my second injection was this past Tuesday, and by Wednesday midday was essentially functioning, yeah, round about 75%. And frankly, because of dealing with chronic illness and whatnot, I can roll at 75%, and most people will have no idea that I don't feel good. So, yeah, so I was fine. And then by Thursday, I was back to about 80, I would say between 85 and 90 percent, and just had another very large welt, which actually started shortly after the injection on Tuesday. I actually felt my arm like doing something. It was a really odd experience. I was like, oh. I just had my I had not even left the location that I received the injection at night, my arm was already feeling like it was about to like blow up. I wasn't in pain. It was just it things were happening quite quickly. So just be aware for those of you who have various reactions to medications, and also just really frankly know your immune response and how your body responds to infection and to invasion and to getting instructions from a vaccine. Work. That's what a vaccine does. Vaccine comes into your body and says, "Excuse me, I'm gonna need you to do this," and it says, "Do it quickly." And so your body, in an effort to meet that work order, frankly, your body has some reaction, some give. I know several people, particularly men, I would have to really do some research, and slightly older men that did not have the reaction that I've heard a lot of my female peers have. Now, I don't know if it's just because, one, I have quite a few female friends uh, as compared to male friends, and I'm just interacting with more females, and therefore I'm hearing about their negative experiences. But like my uncle, my dad, I mean, literally, a lot of the men I know have not had the temperature reaction, all that type of stuff that I'm hearing. A lot of the women that I know have. I had one friend that was literally sick for 2 weeks after her injection. So, anyways, I don't want this whole video to be about that, but I did want to share that. As far as the fact that yes, I did get vaccinated. Yes, I am telling you about that because it is part of a teaching update. Like anybody who's teaching these days, working with children, and you all know, hopefully, if you've been paying attention or kind of peeped, that I am not in one particular school. I'm not an employee of a school or certain programs. I run a nonprofit that provides services to schools and various programs in the New York City metro area, concentrated, highly concentrated in the neighborhood of Harlem. Okay? And so, that being said, for those of us teaching and doing that type of work, the decision to get a vaccination is a decision we have to make. I got vaccinated because I was not about to play with that. Not today. No, no, boo boo. Okay? So, moving on. That's what's going on. For anybody interested in me doing kind of a science breakdown of the difference between this vaccine and other vaccines and like how it works and all that, let me know. The comments will be on for this video. Make sure they're appropriate comments and that they are comments that children can see, because hello, the majority, well, actually all the science videos are for the babies. You're not going to see stuff on my channel that's inappropriate for children. So just be advised, your comments need to be appropriate. I do screen the comments whenever there's a video that allows comments, and I do absolutely delete comments that are not appropriate and block or whatever. You will be blocked. No. Because kids watch this channel, and also families, and nobody wants to have to come to YouTube and see nastiness. I get that that's like a thing that people do and think are cute. No, please don't be surprised if well, actually, I'm not even going to say please. Do not be surprised if your comment is deleted if it has nothing to do with the content, because it will. It's my channel. I get to manage that for my families that watch this, and for you all, like for teachers and stuff that's watching this. Like, you deserve to have appropriate content and appropriately managed comments under it too. Okay? Cool. Let's talk. Where do I want to go? I do have notes this time, by the way. Partnerships. Yeah, that's a lot. So, running partnerships in this remote era has been challenging. I mean, frankly, getting payments from people. Some folks pay like right on time. Do. Cut that check. Some partners honestly have not been paying on time. And it's really been frustrating because I'm like, yo, like, it costs me money to provide service to you. Like, yeah. And actually, we, Triple F Empowerment Inc., for the majority of the services that we provide, and even to partners, we are charging less than it actually costs us to provide whatever service that is. The only service that's, and it's still not even at cost, that's literally just at cost and we're not making a profit off of, would be like the birthdays, the birthday parties. That's really just, again, right at cost. We're not profiting off of it, off it. But everything else, we're pretty much taking a hit. And so for those of you who are donating, for a fact, you've heard it from me, the founder, the executive director, Miss Steph, Miss Steph, you could tell somebody, Miss Steph herself told me, that, you know, contributions definitely are helping fill in that financial gap so that programs and organizations and partners don't have to like come up with this huge amount of money to have STEM at their program. Hello. It costs so much money. Like this, the amount of money that people are charging, girl, bro. Trust, we're not charging all that. Does my board sometimes tell me, Miss Steph, yes, so we need to be charging more? They do. We do have that conversation. Do we make adjustments on an annual basis? Yes, we do. There is some inflation rolled into what we're charging. But in the end, if you're a partner watching this, know that you're like so being charged way less than what it cost us. Cost me to run program. Yeah. I mean, there's some partners that are literally either not paying anything when it comes down to it, or like we're exchanging something. Um, but the average partner, just know that y'all are like, definitely, I'm not overcharging you. I'm like, we're really not. But like I said, it's been a challenge. It's on-time payments is one of the big challenges. Getting supplies and making supplies clear for everybody, like what supplies they need. Even just when I'm doing the Friday Club, which by the way, Friday Club can take more kids, guys. I'm not really sure why more people didn't kind of bite when I made that available, but whatever, do you. Um, but yeah, the Friday Club is interesting because parents kind of have to, I don't want to say scramble. A couple of the parents are parents from summer. And since we provided materials for summer, it worked out to where they have kind of some stuff and they have things around the house. So if I say, hey, you need yada, 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 I very often will log in and they'll see, look, Miss Steph, this is the glue you gave me before in the summer, or this is the whatever, and so um, it's fun to see that materials, I really am choosing materials that are accessible, that aren't random. Okay, so that's partners and programming and all that type of stuff. So let's talk a bit about events and going into how we're going to transition to resuming in person. Again, I'm going to make a big deal. You're going to see over the next several months how I will make a big deal of not saying we are going back. You saw that hot, like our eye roll, right? None of that going backness. For so many reasons, I have an issue with that terminology, and I'll break that down a little bit. But as far as the in-person events that we're going to be doing, number one, we have something on May 29th, which is in partnership with Sugar Babies. Yeah, that's it is an in-person event. The link will be down below. It is for Harlemites, basically, because in person. I know people from various places watch me, but I feel like my people in New Mexico aren't coming to it, and even in person for a couple hours. So that's what I'm saying. It's for Harlemites. A couple of people will come across the bridge and stuff. That's cool. But we are taking 10 young people, and also adult family member needs to stay with. We're not doing drop off service yet. Now, when it comes to the June Saturday Science Club will be in person in June. The caveat to that is if enough people are signing up for each session. I am considering, and you all can kind of give me some feedback on this. Well, not kind of, you can give me feedback. Again, the comments will be open. Appropriate comments are absolutely welcome. Feedback is welcome. Questions are welcome. I'm so into that. Duh, I'm a scientist, like, y'all. But I am thinking of doing, it's either going to be a minimum of 3 children or a minimum of 5 children to be able to hold the session. Because we need a certain amount of kids that makes it, I wouldn't even say cost effective for us, because I just shared with you that we're not charging what it costs us to run. That's where the donors come in, because I know the population that we're serving. I know the partner programs we're serving. Partner programs are dealing with financial constraints as well, right? I just said, like, to get a STEAM program to come into your after school is very expensive. That's the gap we're filling. Period. Okay? Summer science. That we are filling the gap for affordable. There's a huge gap for that. Affordable, quality, consistent STEAM programming here in this community and beyond, you know. Yeah, so May 29th, Saturday Science, June Saturday Science. I also have in the link that's going to be down below, you'll see that you're actually going to be able to register for September as well, though I don't know that you're going to want to register all the way out to September. Be advised, there is a cost associated, there's a suggested donation associated with the Saturday events, the events that are coming up on these next several Saturdays. And that cost is variable. Again, we're trying to make sure that cost is not a barrier. So you can pay full price, you can pay half price, or you could be like, Ms. Steph, I ain't got it today. Cool. Still register your child. Your child has to be registered. And as far as registration, you only really have to do the form one time, and then you can just keep coming back and being like, this student is coming attending again. You don't have to fill out the form every time. Summer Science Club, coming up May 1st, I will start blasting all kinds of stuff. We've got a fundraiser that's going to launch May 1st. We have Summer Science Club registration launching May 1st. We have all kinds of other just what's been going on. Not only what's been going on, because that's what these are for, but as far as like the vision, where we're going into the fall and what benefits we've provided to young people up to this point, because we are coming up on year 10, folks. Program year 10 starts with camp. Okay? This is our 10th summer science club. I'm letting it sink in, because it's still sinking in for me. Okay? So yeah, events. I covered that. Now let's talk. I'll talk about the going back in a bit. Equipment. Yeah, so you notice how I'm filming on my phone, my cellular device. This is my cell phone. My Nextgo, I believe it's the camera versus like my computer, because my other things I plug into the computer are functioning, but something is up with the Nextgo that I'm not really clear. Nextgo BTW is my camera, my cute camera that I ordered. What was that? When did I break that out? December, I think, where I was able to, I could do the focusing and see how that there's no focus there. Yeah. And it was easy to make videos on and all that type of stuff, but it seems to not be working in a reliable way right now. Every time I make any adjustment, remember I used to be able to like tilt and up, girl, every time if I move her, she has an attitude. Like, that's not helpful for me. been less than 6 months. Excuse me? Why don't you work still? I'm confused. So that's what's going on with that. You notice I don't have my headset on. However, I am using the headset mic. Yeah, I have it somewhere. I'm trying that out because I was getting tangled in the cord and all that stuff. So just trying to like work it out. And to be honest, it's one of the many things that's hard about doing this remotely, and for the reason that we're doing it remotely, meaning it's due to pandemic and it's due to limiting interaction and all that stuff with other people. So like if we were just remote just cuz we had started as a remote program, which by the way, there's a bunch of organizations and services that have been remote. This whole remote thing is really not new, y'all. Not to throw shade, but just a little bit of shade. Like this is not new. It's just that it's new for such a high percentage of people doing it. And for those of us who are Star Trek fans, all I have to say is Star Trek coming to life, people. we're finally catching. We're finally catching up to Gene Roddenberry's imagination. Jetsons. We're finally catching up to that. That's all that's happening right now, and so there's a tug and pull, and there's a tension because it was caused not by choice per se, but by like out of necessity. And when things come out of necessity, it takes a little while to like organize it and make it done right instead of going, oh, we can do this and phase people in and all that type of stuff. So my point is, when I'm talking about supplies, when I'm talking about equipment, and when I'm talking about running the show that is Ms. Steph Science Club right now, it's hard to do it remote because I don't have, like, it's not like I can have my assistant come and just be here. Like, that's kind of defeats the purpose. Now, I have been vaccinated, and so there's other choices that I have available to me now. But for a period of time, it was like, okay, I could expose you, and you could expose me, and this, that, and the third, and I'm exposing people in your household and all that type of stuff. And so it is, again, it's a challenge. Now, talking about the going back. So, first of all, going backwards, why? If we go back, we are returning to, in my opinion, like exactly or similar, and not thinking through what could be changed and how we could adjust. I am sorry for the noise. I am thinking, praying, planning, discussing with self and with other people about what Triple F Empowerment Inc. will look like, about feasibility of continuing traveling science teacher as is. Okay, this is not an announcement. No, I'm not stopping traveling science teacher. Don't get it twisted. Think of it as I'm reflecting on how functional it is, again, in its current format. Well, I don't even want to say current format. In the format it was in before, where I was like going and I was personally interacting with 300 plus people a week. Some weeks like really closer to 500, like a lot, like really interacting, like I'm teaching this many, because I was physically going to 10 locations. So thinking about how we can have the impact, the magnitude of impact that we've had over this year of being remote, where I can log on and literally serve 5,000 children, right? Like returning to me physically having to be there to serve. Yes, I know. New York soundtrack. Child. Do not like it at all. Hard eye roll. Whew, the amount of the sound pollution that New York is experience, I think, is just ridiculous. But that being said, I'm not going to go on that soapbox because y'all, I will be there for a minute. So I'm going to step off it. But continuing with my comments about the going back, as the founder of Triple F Empowerment Inc., I'm informing you officially, in case you were wondering, we will not be thinking in terms of going back. We are thinking in terms of resuming in-person services, and we are thinking in terms of efficiency and efficacy. So if we switch up our contracts with you, know that that is because we are looking at how can we be efficient, the most efficient and the most effective with the resources we have. Yeah. What else? I want to kind of say, I mean, we're just a little over 30 minutes. Hope you've watched the whole thing. Yeah. Housekeeping. Let's do that. We normally do some housekeeping, right? So definitely like, share, subscribe. Cool, cool, cool. I'm going to have a ton of links down below. I'm going to consider this our soft opening, or rather part of our, because there's a grand opening for things, and then there's like soft opening, right? Before the grand opening. This is part of our soft opening for the campaign. I am going to go ahead and put that link down below if you want to get a head start on supporting our summer science club efforts, right? Because anybody who knows me knows that I've been planning Summer Science Club 2021 since we ended Summer Science Club 2020. Other things going on, tons of links down below as far as registration for the events that I have mentioned, primarily the May 29th event, the Saturday Science Club reboot. COVID vaccine, yes, got it. I'm fine. I'm steering from recommending to people unless they are close to me and I know their health status. But I'm saying I had a lot of reason to get it. That's where I'm at. It's out there. It's free if you're in New York. So, hint. As far as, y'all see that wink? What do you think I think you should do? Like I said, you gotta check on your whole situation. What else? Like I said, I did the fundraiser, I did some housekeeping, all that type of stuff. Be respectful in the comments. The comments will be on. I'm open to hearing your feedback about program, and I'm also open to hearing your feedback about like requests for Science with Ms. Steph videos. Definitely trying to figure out what we're going to do for our theme for May. Actually, no. I already have a plan for the theme for May. It has to do with the theme for the fundraiser and 10 years hint. But if you have some specifics about specific requests that you would like me to consider sliding in, I can do that for you because you're you and you're cool. Yeah. Oh, Cambly out school. Not doing right now. Counts still open. Okay, that's how that's going. So yeah, this is me, Ms. Steph from Triple F Empowerment Inc., Executive Director and Founder of Triple F Empowerment Inc. Thank you for watching so much. And yes, I am going to plug the channel one more time. Like, share, subscribe, comment down below. And also, if you're interested in some of my other things that are a little bit more just like about what's going on with me personally and less about my opinions, my philosophies on education and all that kind of whatnot, definitely check out Buy Me a Coffee. I've got I have quite a few unlisted videos that can be accessed through that conduit. But you gotta go over there to do it. Okay? Cool, cool, cool. Thank you for watching. Until next time, people, it's been Ms. Steph.